Everyone, it's Barry on the Team Bubba podcast, and I just thought today I'd do a video on. We'll have a quick look into Kim Goguen and the United News Network website and the whole IPTV that she offers to not just the followers but anyone. We've covered this in a video previously where me and the guys discussed how dodgy the whole copyright infringement was and how illegal it was. But this video ain't about that. This is about where she actually gets the streams from, and a little bit of research, which is nailed down to, which looks exactly where she gets the content from. Right, okay, so let's get into it. Let me bring that up. The other day we were looking through her Telegram group for the IPTV support. When I say support, I basically mean it's a Telegram chat group where people can go and tell Kim, well, it's not Kim, but tell her admins that they're having trouble with the app or the streams or even basic stuff like logging in. And amongst the thousands of comments and complaints, I saw this little nugget from somebody who is obviously paying for this, and she's asked a question about the address because they changed it very slightly. They started using their own app, which was provided by a company. But before that, they didn't do that. They used to give out that web address, that URL, which is a private URL, and you need a username and a password to get beyond that. To most people, that means nothing. But it's an internet address of the actual streams. But there's certain information you can get from that. On its own, it's useless, is that. But with a username and a password, that's when it opens up all the streams that are available through that service that she offers. Right, so the first thing that I did, once I had that nugget, was go to ipttracker.org. It's actually www.ip-tracker.org, which is a site which will show you where the website is hosted. And as you can see there, it's hosted in Belize. Now, Belize is a tiny little country, as you can see here. Basically, it's just there, look, which is near Guatemala, Honduras. It's in that like basin there, just below Mexico. But it is part of, very close to, and I think it comes under the same sort of jurisdiction as the sort of the Cayman Islands. Now, you probably know the Cayman Islands. You've probably heard of that from the exposures that were done a couple of years ago for people offshore banking, where all your elites and your politicians and your high-end businessmen, where they keep all their money, which is offshore, where it's not traceable. Nobody can track it unless you get some inside information. It's a magnet really for the elite and rich list, and also because of its privacy laws. Now, I did a quick search looking at IPTV copyright infringement in Belize and put Belize into the search to see what else I could find. This brought up an interesting article on a website for an Eastern European law firm called Shona. I think it's Shonhair.eu. They've got offices all over Europe, and this article discusses the law with regards to copyright infringement of streaming services on the internet, namely IPTV provider of unauthorized mainstream TV channels and TV series. It's quite an interesting article, but that sort of gives you a bit of insight into the difficulties that companies come up against when they're trying to tackle copyright infringements. Now, if you do a little bit of research on Belize, you can find that basically it avoids all these laws. Now, because this is what these people want. These people want to be able to have all their content streamed or hosted within a jurisdiction that basically sticks the finger up at anybody, whether it's the company who own the copyright or whether it's the person who wrote the TV series, or if it's going to come down to things like Premier League or Major League Baseball or any streams that companies charge a premium for, which they do, and it's quite within their rights to do that. What they can do, if they find somebody who is breaching copyright, they can contact the server company who's hosting the server and basically say take it down because it's a DMCA copyright infringement. And there are some companies where they'll obey these type of laws because they come under a certain umbrella of groups of countries, whereas there are others who don't. And part of this is sort of the Cayman Island basin of countries where all they've got, I guess, is tourism to bring in the money. And there's a lot of books being written, there's a lot of TV, there's a lot of films actually. There was one quite good one a few years ago. I can't remember the title of it. If I remember, I'll put it up in the links underneath. I'm going to put the links to all of these pages as well so that people can find them if they want to have a look themselves in the description. But it's a difficult thing, and some of these countries, especially people like Belize, who will say no, go away, we don't care. So they're quite happy to take the money from these people offering these illegal streams and not be liable and not give any information out, so that they can't prosecute these people. Now, this company here, they're quite forward in saying they'll show you how much the services are all going to cost, but they're going to explain in there what is offshore hosting. It's when you host your project on a location where the network provider neither suspend your website due to the MCA complaints, nor force you to take down your content due to the local country laws, which allows a provider to show some leniency when handling such complaints. So they're basically saying is that we don't do anything. You can host here, and we will not have takedown orders. We will ignore those, and you can carry on doing that as you please. Which is great for these kind of people. Now, I don't know if some people aren't aware of this, but if you want to find something specific from Google or any other search engine, this is what you can do. You can put something that you are looking for in particular in inverted commas. That will limit the amount of search results that come back to you, because what you're basically telling Google or whatever it is to look for that specific phrase and nothing else. And your results can be a bit hit and miss, but what you can tend to find is that the first few pages are exactly what you're looking for and nothing else. So when I put that web address into a search engine, we'll use Google for this as a reference. If you scroll down here, there was this website here which offered tutorials, which makes you think, what's that about? So when you go onto that, there's a company here called vtelectv.com, and they brought you to a page because they show the web address on there, which is where she's getting a stream from. And it's a bit of a tutorial to say this is how you set it up, which is great. If for those people that have got this kind of thing, it's but at least it came up in the searches for me, which is what we wanted. So that's kind of nailed it down to, if you go to their homepage, tells you that IPTV is a low-cost technology, and IPTV as a whole, it's not illegal. If you wanted to set up your own IPTV streaming company where you had a channel where you did, I don't know, DIY tutorials and things, and tips and tricks for your garden and things, I don't know. If you wanted to do anything like that, you can do, and you can host it through an IPTV streaming company. But usually IPTV streaming is for illegal copyright infringement streams of mainstream TV. So what this company are doing here, if you scroll down, they're trying to sell you it until you get to this bit here, which basically says 15,000 channels, live and video on demand, premium channels, 24/7 live channels, and they're telling you how great it is, and they're also telling you how much it is. Now, I know that Kim charges, if you go onto her website, I'm not going to go onto her website because I'm not going to promote anything that she does. She will be getting a bulk discount from this company. I could go to this company and pay $15 a month for their subscription, which is exactly the same as what she offers. It's over 15,000 channels, it's live, and it's video on demand. Now, because she is offering more, she will get a higher discount. So she may be paying $10 for each one. Now, if she's paying $10, for instance, for each one, and she's selling them for, if you look on our website, it ranges from, I think, somewhere in the region of $20 to about $27, depending on whether you have one either box or phone or unit that will handle the streams. If you want more than that, you pay more for it. So this is where she's getting it from. She's not providing anything. She's not. She boasts that she's the one that's offering it, and she's not lying. She is offering it. This company are giving her the streams, and she's charging for that. Now, if you look here, this is where you sort of need to look and see how legal or not this is. If you have a look at this website, Torrent Freak, torrentfreak.com, and it's quite a good news website for this kind of thing. And this is an article which states that US broadcaster Dish Network filed a sealed complaint targeting the Florida-based owner of a pirate IPTV service operating under several brand names. After almost a year, the case has now been concluded. In addition to complying with a permanent injunction, defendant Robert Reich has agreed to pay Dish more than $15.8 million in damages. I don't think there's a great deal more proof needed to show someone who's touting herself as the financial saviour of the world, who has got access to funds that nobody else has access to. So why on earth is she selling dodgy IPTV? This is what baffles me more than anybody else. Anything else? Why anybody would take this on, would pay her the $20 to $27 a month for this. Now, I understand why people do it. I do. I get it. I get it. They don't want to pay the full amount. But what you've got to remember is that if people didn't pay the full amounts, the content wouldn't be there to be shown. So you need people to pay the full amounts. Yes, it could be cheaper. It could be more accessible for people. But people get it just purely because it's cheaper. And me and the guys have discussed this, at length, really, the rights and wrongs of it. But at the end of the day, it's wrong. It's wrong. Um, Things have changed a little bit now in our Telegram group. Um, we've spent the past few weeks using different VPNs, which I don't know, people know the virtual private networks, where if you go to a website, it usually says, "Oh, this person's using this browser and they are based in this country." Well, if you use a VPN, you can make it look like you're coming from a number of different countries. I use one. Excuse me. I use one, and yeah, I could say I'm in Russia. I could say I'm in Australia. I could say wherever I am. Um, but what we've all been doing is actively reporting her apps, which are on the Apple Store, or were on the Apple Store, and were in the Play Store. Um, and looks like now that they've been removed. And she's had to resort to using an app that's not branded. You can pay a company a lump sum. I think the one I saw was $150 or something like that. And they will give you the same app that they give everybody else, but they'll put your logo in, basically. So it looks like yours, and they'll put it up onto Google Play Store for you, so that other people can download it free of charge, and then you just charge them for the stream, for the using the username and the password to get all the streams. Um, Again, very, very, very dodgy ground. She's breaking the law. If this guy here can get a 15.8 million fine in damages, he's got to pay that. Kim, Kim is obviously breaking the law. It's obvious to anybody. Um, but people are standing by this woman, this woman who doesn't really care about anything except financial gain for herself. The funds will never come. We know this. We know this, and everybody listening should know this. And if you don't know this, there's something wrong with you, because the funds will never arrive, ever. And while Kim's skipping away with all her money, while she's living in some kind of comfort and funding her savings for early retirement or holidays or whatever she's doing, that's what it's doing, and people are allowing this to go on by agreeing to follow her. And it just baffles me. But right, I think I've got my point across there. Um, I just want to say thank you for watching. And if you support and enjoy what we're doing, then please share these videos on Facebook, on Twitter. Also like and subscribe, and most importantly of all, comment on the videos as well. We actively encourage discussion, whether it's good or bad. You may have seen some comments that look like they've been removed from YouTube. That's not us. We won't remove anything. We'll comment back. We'll give our point of view. People are allowed their point of view, and that's what people are allowed to do. And that's what we want, and that's the world we want to live in, is where that there's it's open for everybody to discuss anything. And Kim doesn't want to live in that world, and a lot of people don't either. Neither do politicians. So please make comments, and please get involved, get active with us, and let's bring this to an end. Thank you for listening.